Hey, I'm Oliver Carlson, CRM Chat Guy, and in this video I'd like to talk about how I use the Power Query Builder in the XM Toolbox to fast and easily generate Power BI data models based on my Dynamics 365 data and create the data model in a manner where I can use the new Q&A features in Power BI where I simply ask questions about my data to generate charts, lists, etc., queries. And the concept of this video is basically to see how fast we can build this from scratch. It's going to take about 10 minutes, so let's get started. All right, so here we have Dynamics 365. That's the environment we're going to be querying data from. Here we have Power BI. Right now it is a completely blank template. And we'll go ahead and click on Edit Queries and open up the Power Query Editor. And I'll open up the XM Toolbox with the Power Query Builder that Mohammed Rashid and myself have been working on. Go ahead and load all the entities into the system and generate the service URLs and create these in the system. I'll just copy and paste these items here. Click on New Source, Blank Query. There. Put in the base URL. Put in 365 Customer Engagement base URL. And I'll go ahead and do the same thing with the service root URL. Now, these are variables that are being used in the other queries, meaning that we can actually, simply by changing these variables, change the environment that this Power BI model is looking at, so we can actually use it over and over again for different environments. We don't have to start over or edit each individual query afterwards. All right, so now that I have those, I can start selecting the different entities like accounts and go ahead and select a view. There I have my view with all the different fields that I'm interested in. I can click Update Fetch, add the record URL, generate fetch, and I'll go ahead and copy all the information. Go ahead and create a new source, blank query, advanced editor, copy and paste, and change the name here to accounts. And now I get all the accounts into the system with all the names, all the fields being renamed from the schema names to the display names, all the data type set, etc. And I basically just repeat on doing that for the different entities that I'm interested in here in our data model. So there I have the other view. For opportunities, I'll update and generate the fetch, copy all the information, and create a blank query, advanced editor, and put it into the system. Copy, there we go. So as you can see, it's fairly straightforward getting the data into the Power BI model here. I'm just going to do this 2 more times. I'm going to do it again with cases or incidents. Then we have the view, update fetch, generate fetch, copy, blank query, and enter the data here. Of course, you can do more transformations, etc. with the different cases here as a part of it, but in terms of just getting the data into the system, this is essentially all that's needed. Then we'll take the user table or the owner table here from the system users, and I'll be using the standard enable users view in this case. We'll generate the fetch and get all the data here, copy the entire query, blank query, advanced editor, copy and paste for the last time. And just to rename this to the owners table. There you go. And now I can hit close and apply, and all the data will now be queried into our Power BI data model, into the Power BI report, where we can start working with it, build the relationships, and start asking questions to the data. All right, so now we have all the data in the system, and first thing I want to do here is click on relationships and establish some of the relationships here between the different entities and tables we have pulled into our Power BI data model. So here I'll put accounts in the middle, cases and owners, and what I want to do is I want to have the account ID and I want to relate that to the customer ID on the cases, and I want to have that account ID relate that to the potential customer ID on the opportunity up here. And I can actually see that here. Just make this one a little wider, I can see that's the customer ID, the unique ID field that matches the account ID. The potential customer here is the name of the account itself. And finally, I'll take the system user ID and map that to the owner ID on the accounts table. So now I actually have my data model here and can start asking questions to the data. I'm using the latest version, the August 2018 version of the Power BI report, which means that I can basically just double click enter the report and start asking questions. So we can start out with something simple and just say count of cases. There we go. And we can put that up here, say 63 cases. And we can continue doing something similar. We can say estimated revenue for open cases. We can see our open opportunities. We can see that that filtered down there. There we go. And I could do the same thing here for actual revenue for one opportunities. We want to make sure we only get the one opportunities on here, of course, to make sure our information is accurate. And I can also create a list of accounts, for example. So basically just type in list of accounts with a link. So that means I want to add the link to the report here. So let me just move this over a little bit and make this a bit bigger. And we can actually see the link over here at the end. So this is the only actual change I'm going to come in and make here. So let me just select the link item, modeling, and change the data category to web URL. This means that this actually becomes an active link. And at the same time, I can just click here, go to the values, and change the URL icon down here. So now we actually have a link to the Dynamics 365 record inside the system. Based on how we ask these questions, we can change the visualization a little bit, and we can say map account address. And we can see all the information starts appearing here on a map, and we can zoom in, etc., work with the details. I want to dig down a little further, so let's say map account address by estimated revenue instead. That's something that's a little more useful in this case. So there we go. Make that one a little bit bigger. All right. And of course, we can start asking more traditional questions like open, there we go, open estimated revenue by owner, for example. And we can see that by the item. And we can also ask the open estimated revenue, and that implies that it's only going to be all the opportunities that are currently open and in progress. And we can do the same thing here, estimated revenue by account name, and get a list of accounts here. Let me just make this view a little bit smaller. And we can actually mix. Now we've been using a lot of the information from the same entity, like either accounts or opportunities. But we can also say open estimated revenue by city, which is on the account table. So this information is actually visualized through the relationship that we created earlier. And so we can say open estimated revenue by city, and just to make that a little more useful, we can say sorted by estimated revenue. There we go. So we can actually get a list of our top cities that we're currently working with. All right, we added cases too, so let's have a look at account of cases per customer and status. So we can start comparing the information like this. We can also say things like cases by priority as donut. There you go, if we want to change the visualization a little bit. And the really nice thing here about these items is that we can actually make some fairly complex queries by asking these questions to the data. So let's, for example, say, what if I'm interested in seeing a short list of accounts that has open opportunities where the sales stage is close. So we're in the latter stages of the negotiation process, and we also have high priority cases with them. So let's see, accounts where sales stage is close, there you go, and case priority is high. There you go. So we are actually now narrowed down to just one customer here that matches that criteria, where we have an opportunity where the sales stage is closed, and we also have high priority cases for it. And of course, this is Power BI, so we can actually just start drilling down on the information, and use the built-in interactions to see the visualization change. And of course, just click on one of the accounts and it'll immediately open up that specific record inside Dynamics 365. There you go. Let me go back to the Power BI report. That was it for this time. I hope you enjoyed it. Please sign up for my newsletter, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to this channel if you want more tips on how to use your Dynamics 365 data using either the built-in business intelligence tools, visualization options, or of course using Power BI itself in order to do that. Thank you.